Go where your best prayers take you, unclench the fists of your spirit and take it easy. Breathe deeply of the glad air and live one day at a time. Know that you are precious and learn to trust. Amen. Well, good morning and welcome to all of you, and welcome to everyone who's joining us by way of YouTube or Channel 12. We always value our virtual community. And I'm going to jump ahead, even though it's January and we're not thinking about December next year, but Elf on the Shelf, when the Elf on the Shelf comes, say you get a check mark and a star because you were in church on the worst weather morning of the year as we start. It's miserable. What are you doing here? You should be at home, along with everybody else in their jammies. But I am glad you're here today. And it really is like the first Sunday of the new year. Even though we had a Sunday last year, it was kind of slow the last couple of Sundays. So we're back with the choir and all of us. And thank you for wearing masks, and we're wearing masks again around each other. This is like, and it feels like kind of a high-speed checkers game going on. But we have staff out, whole families with COVID, all kind of folks in this congregation with COVID. It's the real thing, so please wear your masks, wash your hands, do all the things we're intended to do. And this will be short-lived, we're assured, but we'll be past this quickly, we think. Well, I hope you had a good Christmas. It was fabulous at St. John's. Maybe the best Christmas we've had in years, really and truly. The choir was remarkable. Our music was remarkable. Great services, good sermons, just all the way through. The clergy did a great job. You notice I didn't preach, and they did a great job. It really was just lovely. And so here we are at the beginning of this year. And even though we've passed the Epiphany, it's January 6th. The 12 days of Christmas, they don't start on December 1st like the beer and the wine calendars. You know that, don't you? Come on now, help me here. Tom would say, help me. Tom, come up here. Help me out. You got to help me. Again, it actually starts on Christmas Day and the 12 days go. Well, we're past those 12 days, but at St. John's, we don't skip the Epiphany. We have it in church on Sunday for a reason, because it's an important story. It's a powerful story. In the old days, how many of you remember, this is a question mark, how many remember how we used to do Epiphany? Do y'all remember? Raise your hand, seriously. We would have a big parade. Actually, we did it on the Epiphany. People actually came to church on January 6th, regardless what day of the week it was, believe it or not, in the evening. We would light candles. We would dress up. The choir was always, they were great sports. We would have three of the men dress up as the wise men. They had these big costumes with big hats, and they would carry their gifts. They would come ceremoniously up, put their gifts down, singing each stanza of the hymn that we just sang. The appropriate for frankincense and myrrh and gold. It was really fun. Most of you don't know that after the kings got through with the parade, then they went downstairs to greet the children. What we never knew, and Carrie Ruff was telling us, is it spooked the kids something bad. They thought the kings were creepy. I'm sorry, your children, some of you we've damaged for life. I'm serious. You're still bearing the scars of this. We were laughing this week because Carrie said one little girl, probably the last time we did this, which was quite a while ago, probably over 7 or 8 years ago, after the kings came and the kids kind of would shrink and then the kings would leave, not because the kings were creepy, but their costumes were creepy. And the kids were kind of going like, whoa, this is weird. Well, they would leave and one little girl tugged on Carrie's dress and she said, Miss Carrie, they're not going to come back, are they? That little girl is one of our sweet teenagers now. No, she's right. The kings are not coming back. Because this story is now put into our rich and valued history of the birth of Jesus. Do you understand? This is part of the birth narrative. It's one of those great stories. And unlike you probably, the clergy, we start reading the whole birth narrative because we're going to preach all the way through it. We start at the beginning, and remember, we started in November. And this is the last story of that birth narrative. So I've been thinking about this story, no joke, since right after Thanksgiving. And I've thought about what it means because it's a simple and clear message. So can you hear this one? If you don't hear anything else, hear this. It is so simple. this fanciful, wonderful, traditional, mythic, powerful story that we tell is a simple message about what the wise men were doing. What gift can you bring to Jesus? That's all it's about. It's a question. So all the fun that we had, all the hymns we sing, which are lovely, romantic, feel good, traditional, seasonal, it's all about that one question. What gift can you bring to Jesus? Carrie this morning will do it again. She's having that conversation with your children and our children right now, asking them what gifts will they bring? What can they bring? And we're adults. And our job is to remind ourselves that no gifts are ever wasted, are they? Actually, they are not unimportant. The gifts that we just all spent so much time and energy giving, buying, chasing down, ordering, hoping we're delivered on time, still waiting to be delivered by Amazon. That stuff's important, or you wouldn't do it. That's what the story means. Gifts are important. See, our gifts are not those, though, that we do during the season, but they're the spiritual gifts and the things that we can give, because they are the gifts that we will give to Jesus to do Jesus' work. That's what the story is telling us. Our gifts are the tools that Jesus uses in the world. The way to Christ is through you. Always was and always will be. Jesus is preached, demonstrated, lived, given away, authenticated by you, by me, by all the other Christians this morning doing what we are doing. We are no better, no worse. We're all the same doing this together. Christianity works because Christians give their gifts away in the name of Christ. That's how it works. So I've been thinking about that question since November. What gift can we bring? What gift do I bring? What gift do you bring? And I was looking for an answer. And about 5 weeks ago, it came to me. In the strangest way, I was watching PBS News, which I watch regularly. I love the fact that they don't fight with each other. They actually talk. So I watch PBS News, frankly, when I watch news. And I really love this one segment they do, and maybe you know it. It's called Brief But Spectacular. Do you know of it? Show of hands. Do you know what I'm talking about? They do a thing where someone tells their story. They talk about something they're doing. And they're usually actors or actresses or musicians or firemen or policewomen or doctors or nurses. And this night it was Terrell Scruggs in Nashville, Tennessee. And I watched this and I said, I wish I had seen this 42 years ago when I became a priest. I want you to watch and listen to Terrell Scruggs. He's the real deal. And thank Paul for his wizardry, putting this into a form that we can see it this morning.
Caregiving is not a job. You do a job to make something for yourself. But caregiving, you have to give something back from within yourself. My mother and my father raised us to be good Samaritans. We don't look at color. We don't look at wealth. We don't look at money. We look at the individual person. And if we can help them, we do. And I was raised in church, about church. I breathe church. I live church. We are religious by choice. And we teach folks how to treat one another as human beings. Not because of what you have or what you own or what you possess. It's just who you are. At 15 years old, I prayed to God that if he ever give me a brother, I would take care of him for the rest of my life. I was 20 years old when I found out that I had a brother. And when I went to visit my biological father, he introduced me to him. And from then on, I decided that I wanted to be a part of his life. My brother is highly challenged. He does not speak. He does not chew. And I told my father that whatever you need, let me know, and I will help you with him. Later on in the years, my biological father passed, and we found his mother a couple of years later on the kitchen floor, aneurysm. So her daughter took her with her to another county and took care of her, and I took my brother with me. That's how I got him. So that's why I took him in, and it's been lovely ever since. I don't go nowhere that he cannot go. Caregiving is a calling. You have to want to help somebody. You have to look beyond yourself, your problems, your disposition in life, and see that you can lend a helping hand. I'm in my second church, and I've been there for 16 years. If you want to help somebody, you can start with the person next door to you. We all in this together. This pandemic has brought us together one way or another. The people that you can help, please help. Even if it's just taking out their trash to the curb so the trash man can come by and pick it up where they can't. It's just simple stuff that you can do. It don't cost nothing but a little bit of your time. It ain't what you do for yourself that's gonna last. It's what you do for others. My name is Terrell Scruggs, and this is my brief but spectacular take on helping people.
You see, like Terrell, the gifts we bring always start with a dream or desire or the hope that lives in you. I know the last two years have extracted a lot of that hope. It's the new year. Why don't you find it? I'm trying. Terrell hoped for a brother. And did you hear his words? He got one at age 15. And then by age 20, his father had died. The biological mother of his brother died, and he took his brother in with him. He cannot speak. He cannot chew. And they have become constant companions, and actually better than that, they have become constant friends. What a powerful thing. What a way to further God's kingdom. He's right. All you have to do is help somebody. We get up here and say so much stuff. That's why we're here. Just help somebody. And the gift, don't worry about it. It will come. It isn't already with you. It is already part of you. You don't have to train for it, study for it. Those things will help it come out, but it's there. It will come. That gift that aligns you with God's love, that will be your compassion in the world. That gift that will express God's mercy, but will be your forgiveness in the world. That gift that will be God's care, but will actually be your ministry, your work in this world. This day, as we begin this year on this Sunday together, I hope you will imprint Terrell's words. They are inside of me now. It ain't what you do for others. It ain't what you do for yourself that will last. It will be what you do for others. Like Terrell, so many of us were raised in church. Maybe we can be inspired by him today. I was raised in church. I am about church. I breathe church. I live church. It's 2022, friends. Let's live church. Let's live church by letting church live through you and me. Amen.